This is Nude Project.
Nude Project is an attitude brand. This is a lifestyle. We had nothing. We started with 300 euros each. We were daydreaming about our dream lifestyle. The most important thing is the story. We met, and 2 weeks after meeting, we started Nude Project.
What started as two college kids with a 600 euro investment is now one of the fastest growing clothing brands in all of Europe. They didn't have any investors, they didn't have connections. What they did have was a smart marketing angle that few new brands use today. That's why in this video I'm breaking down the strategy that took them to $30 million. And more importantly, how you can apply it to your own brand. I've been in e-commerce for years now. My first business, way before I knew what I was doing, was a clothing brand. I started as a kid, and today I actually run a lifestyle brand doing more than $200,000 monthly. So when I see a brand like Nude Project hop off the way they actually did, I don't just watch it from the sidelines. I want to reverse engineer it. What exactly did they do right? How did they stand out in one of the most competitive markets there is? That's what I'm here to find out. Normally when I break down any brand, I always start with the product. If you've seen any of my other case study videos, you know I always preach that the product is the most important part of the business. But fashion niches are often different because customers aren't just buying a product or a fabric. They aren't picking one product because it's more soft or has a better zipper. They're buying an identity. And Nude Project knows this better than most, and that's why their content almost never focuses on the clothes themselves. Their main marketing channels push a lifestyle, and then clothes just happens to come with it naturally. So let's start this breakdown at the top of their funnel. How do they actually build that lifestyle? How do they reach new people, and more importantly, make those people want to be a part of it? Before we wrap up, let's talk about what you can actually take away from all of this. Even if you're not building a fashion brand, there's so much to learn here from Nude Project's playbook. First, if you're in fashion, remember this. You're not selling hoodies, you're selling an identity. The product itself is just a vehicle. The real value comes from how your brand makes people feel about themselves. Second, even if you're not in fashion, this still applies. What lifestyle are you attaching to your product? What does your brand let your customers become? Third, don't think you need $1 million budget to do this. Nude Project started with 600 euros, and I even got started with my first brand for like 500 euros. Lastly, content is everything. Nude Project didn't blow up because of the better fabrics or faster shipping. They blew up because they made great content that built communities and made people want to be part of something. That's what made them a $30 million brand. Okay, let's get into it. Organic versus paid traffic. Let's break down what they're doing here. To analyze any brand on paid traffic, open up Facebook Ads Library. In here you can find any brand's ads. You just click all ads, search for Nude Project, boom, pull them up. You can do this as well in TikTok Creative Center. And here you can see their best performing TikTok ads. Click top ads, click Nude Project, pick any market. One way you know they're crushing it. Nude Project is from Spain. So let's start by researching that. Search, and then finally let's pull up their basic TikTok and their Instagram account. So let's break down the TikTok first and foremost. This is the most top funnel channel any brand can have. TikTok is the main media right now for getting those upper funnel organic impressions. So you can see 47 million likes, 1 million followers. In general, they had this tagline, by artists, for artists. The first takeaway from this is if you can come up with something original, okay, then having a tagline that really shows your brand is so important, okay? One thing that I actually really want to point out is that some of their content here is actually in Spanish. Obviously, they have their main market in Spain, so I think it's interesting that they push so much content, even on a open platform like TikTok in Spanish. I think that's something that I would probably improve if I were them to get an even broader appeal. But what you can see immediately from their TikToks is that they have a lot of creativity. The focus and the amount of thought that goes into something like this, a video like this, is insane, okay? Where they bring up some kind of random girl to be their creative director for a day. This is brilliant, okay? And in general, they do incredible storytelling in here. Whenever they launch a product, they explain the entire process behind it, and they do a real storytelling. You can clearly see in on that TikTok which videos have actually performed the best for them. A video like this has done very well, 500,000 views. I don't even understand what they're saying, but they went on a show or something. I believe this is a very famous guy from Spain or Mexico or whatever that they're interviewing. Now they lift him tattoo on this kid's leg or whatever, which is just, you know, an easy viral video. But the execution and the quality, you know, in all of their videos is very high. You can clearly see that they aren't just making a video for making a video. There's intent, there's clear intentions and strategies behind every one of them. And they don't even post that often either. You see, this was a week ago. This was, 2 days before that, another day before that. On average, maybe like once or twice a week actually. So they definitely go for quality over quantity. Other fashion brands do have great success though with having a larger quantity and less quality. This is where you have to find your sweet spot as a brand. On Instagram they have even less posts. They're clearly even more selective with what they're doing here. But once again, when you go in on their site, you get a clear impression that this is a true brand. There's these kind of freaky different storytellings about the videos, and they also showcase certain stores that they have, like this one, which just puts massive authority on their brand. I get the sense that most people love Nude project due to their creativity, and they really lean into this. They showcase creativity and different things, a vibe in every single post. So this is just them opening a store, right? So instead of doing a basic Instagram post, we are opening a new store. This is the storytelling, right? They talk about all that's happened with Nude project. In this video, they're doing a very creative story about why they're launching this new store. They don't just go for the low-hanging fruit. They try to be very creative and intentional with every single post. And they continue with it. Here they have the Colosseum made into a crazy AI video or whatever, okay? So you get the point. And one thing that you should notice here, especially you beginners, is that they don't have a single video on their TikTok that's product focused. It is brand focused, it's the lifestyle, okay? You don't see any video here where they have their shirt and explain how amazing quality it is and how great it looks and feels. It's the lifestyle, it's the brand, okay? That's all it is. You see? It's all it is. It's vibes, it's people having fun, it's a story. So TikTok is the most upper funnel, so it makes sense here having more about the lifestyle. It's very rare that people will buy directly from TikTok. So then once people have probably seen a couple of the TikToks, maybe they check out their site or they check out their Instagram, which is a bit more lower in the funnel. It's still upper funnel, but this is where you can see it starts to become a bit more product focused. It still has a lot of lifestyle and like these kind of videos, but this is a bit more product focused, right? You see the actual product here, right? And this is another product here, very, very intentional. On the Reels though, it's the same. It's a lifestyle indeed, and they post pretty much the same thing on their Reels as they do on TikTok, a bit more selective on their Reels though. So this is the top of funnel strategy they have in most cases. However, Nude project also have a podcast, and this is another thing that they're doing very, very well. They have one on YouTube and on Spotify, almost 1 million subscribers, okay? And this is creating so much upper funnel traffic for them. In this time period, there's no limit to what you can do with a clothing brand. Some clothing brands do podcasts, some have cafes or restaurants or whatever. Be creative. So they just talk to other entrepreneurs, interesting persons on their YouTube channel, once again generating that upper funnel traffic. And once they've done that, then perhaps someone, you or me, will go onto their site. Just have a quick look, and this is where their pixel will pick us up. Now from there, most likely in the next stage, you will get served some of the ads. So let's take a look at those. You see they've got 350 ads running. This is now where they start to convert a lot more, okay? Even on TikTok, you can see they have a lot of ads here as well. And the interesting thing on TikTok is that at least for Spain, I can't see too many videos actually. So maybe they aren't doing too many ads here. I know they've just opened a store in the Netherlands. This is very interesting. They actually don't do too many conversion ads on TikTok as to what I can see. This is a boost of one of their videos. Other than that, they don't do too many. As you can see, once again, they clearly do quality over quantity. I think this is maybe an area where they could improve. I'm not quite sure why they're not utilizing TikTok ads even more, to be honest with you. It is a great channel, and for most lifestyle brands, you can generate a lot of conversions here. Right, onto their meta ads library. This right here seems to be their primary acquisition channel. So as you can see, they have a lot of different variations. They're testing heavily, a lot of different stuff. But once again, notice their communication here, okay? In all of these ads, they don't have one single place where they write buy now, say 20%, say 50%. Because that's not what the brand is about. That's not why you would buy from them in the first place. This is all about the lifestyle. And if they would have written buy now, save 30%, they would actually have made their brand less cheap, less cool. So that's why if you're really trying to build a brand, you need to convey the lifestyle instead. Don't fight on price. It's not why people will pick you anyway. Before we move on to the website, one thing you can clearly see on Nude project's entire branding is that it's very founder focused. So what that means is that Alex and Bruno, who is the founders founders of Nude Project, they are still the faces of this entire brand. They are in a lot of the ads, on a lot of the YouTube, because now at this point they've become quite famous as well. But their brand is very founder focused. And especially with such a young brand here, with so young founders, I think it gives this brand a lot of relatability, because you can see it's just two young guys crushing it with a brand. And to me at least, I want to support that. In general, having a founder focused brand can be a great way to stand out from the rest if that founder has a unique personality. So one thing in particular that Nude Project, in my opinion, has crushed it with in the last couple of years has been collaborating with a lot of celebrities or influencers. This puts them on a way more serious pedestal in the market, and they do it in very, very clever ways. Recently, you can see that they had a collab with Ronaldinho. You know, anyone from football knows who this is. He is a legend, and having someone like him represent the brand is such a cool way to make you seem more established and to reach a new audience as well. These images, once again, are extremely creative. It really shows what this brand is all about. Little kid, big dream. In my opinion, this is the entire statement as well of Nude Project. Go for your dreams, which a lot of us entrepreneurs as well can relate to. So this is another gem for you. If you're starting out as a brand and you really want to be taken more serious in the market, go get some more high-end celebrities or influencers. But don't just pay them and do a collab for them for the sake of doing it. You need to plan out a very, very clever way of executing on that. Okay, let's go on to their website, because right here, this is the entire business, obviously. All of the other things are storytelling, which creates the brand. But this is where the real money is made. First things first, they ask people to select between man and woman. This is something that every single clothing brand who targets the two genders, both man and woman, should do. Okay, split them up from the beginning. When researching for inspiration, which most people do when they search through clothing, it would be frustrating as a man seeing a bunch of women clothes. So once you go in, they have a dedicated landing page for each gender, which once again is really clever to create the correct lifestyle and branding for each gender. A couple of things here. Once again, this is very artistic. They showcase a certain vibe and they showcase a recent store they've launched. Once again, this puts them on a pedestal and shows that these guys are different. Down here, they have all of their products. One thing about Nude Project is that they do limited drops, okay? Once again, quality over quantity. This is just the way they've chosen to do their brand. There's nothing right or wrong here. You can succeed with both, but this is how they've done it. So that also makes their products a lot more high quality. And you can see the prices here for most of their products are in the kind of mid to high end category of clothing. You know, this is around 200 euros for a denim jacket, which I think is, mid high end. On their side, they have a lot of branded images of the products. They have this shop the look feature here, which I really like. And they have a lot of custom pieces. A Nude Project is not the brand to sell a basic white t-shirt, and there's very few clothing brands out there who actually are able to do that. Instead, they have very unique clothing pieces, and you can clearly see a lot goes into the designs of them. Another really clever thing that Nude Project do is they actually have a loyalty program at this point. So when you buy from them, you'll be able to earn points, okay? These are the points you'll earn, and then you can use them to buy even more clothes from them. I think this is a clever way to incentivize people to come back, but please, for the sake of God, don't add a loyalty program when you're just starting out, okay? I see so many new brands who try and launch off with a loyalty program, okay? If you're not doing above 500,000 euros monthly, don't launch a loyalty program. It will most likely be more confusing to the customers than it will increase conversions. If you're below 500,000 euros in monthly revenue, focus on the branding, on the lifestyle, on the products, on the conversions. Not a fucking loyalty program, okay? But this works great for larger branded stores. Once again, on the side, very clear branding. When you look at the product page here, you see how important the images are. Images are probably 66% of this entire site, whereas info is 33%. That's because with clothing, we are sold on how it looks, not due to the fabric or the washing guide or the delivery times, okay? You can see all the focus is on the images. We can clearly see the fabric, how it is, the different details, and this is what converts people. So with these limited drops, naturally they do a storytelling around it, and you can clearly see they actually just dropped this drop right here a couple of weeks ago. This is a very recent one they did, and on their Instagram and TikTok way before they started hyping it, right? These are the hyping posts for that collection, and they had multiple ones on their TikTok as well. So they don't just launch for the sake of launching, they build a story and an email list around it so that when they launch, they make sure things get sold out and that there is a serious demand about it. Right here, you can see the most recent emails that Nude Project has sent. I'll leave this in the description of this video as well if you want to go and study this, but you can see how much they actually hype their collections here, okay? Right here, they say it's coming soon. Now it has a date. Now it's a countdown. Now it's live. This was yesterday, okay? So this is just 5 emails explaining the same drop, hyping. Okay, it's the same with Ronaldinho down here. And this is how you want to do your email marketing specifically as a lifestyle brand. The hype and the storytelling that you do around your brand, it matters. It matters so much. As I touched on previously, now Nude Project has a bunch of physical stores. They have in Amsterdam, Madrid, Ibiza, Milano, Lisboa, Barcelona, Bilbao, Valencia, La Roca Village, a cafe even. This is just another incredible way for them to get that top of funnel traffic. A physical store is literally just a billboard, and you can clearly see how much these guys are investing into their stores. I have never seen clothing stores look like this. This gives a huge first impression for people who sees this store. Maybe people who don't even know Nude Project goes into their stores but just for exploring because they think it looks interesting, and they will get hooked onto their clothes and their brand. Naturally as well, this just makes them seem so much more established. So much more. And they seem like a very serious clothing brand when you have these physical stores. And you can clearly see they're going for this retro vibe, not too luxurious, still minimalistic and very artistic, which goes hand in hand with the tagline by artists for artists. So if we go a bit more into the depth of their site, you can see that they of course have the recent collections here at the top, and then they have the products, okay? They have multiple sizes from extra small to extra large. They have certain payment options, buy with Google Pay here. Then they have the details as well. This is not what creates the conversion, but for more medium to high expensive products, this is very, very relevant info. So having something like this is something you need to prioritize as well as a fashion brand, as a lifestyle brand. They have a size guide. This is a must. You will have a lot of returns and exchanges in any fashion brand. Size guides diminish that. Shipping and returns, 3 to 5 working days in Spain, Portugal, Europe 4 to 6, international 6 to 10, okay? And from that, the shopping experience is very simple, okay? If we click add to cart, the cart is the most basic I've seen in a long time. They don't even have an upsell here. I would add that honestly. But when you click checkout, you can see that you Shopify, and I know these guys are on Shopify Plus for sure, but they don't even have optimized anything here. They don't even have upsells here. This might once again be a more branded decision from them, that they don't want to stuff down their products in the throats of the customers. They just leave it. Right here, this is the basic checkout, nothing too fancy. They have credit card, they have Klarna, okay? This is what you need. Let's see what happens if I change country here. You can see the currency changes with it, which is something you can have when you have Shopify and Shopify markets, and the payment options change as well so that they have the local ones. Now we show PayPal, and I bet if I go to something like the Netherlands, they now have Ideal and Bank Contact. Yeah, other payments, which is probably Ideal. Yeah. Right, this is a must in the Netherlands. This is what they've done with their brand. Up here you can see the different collections, both men and women. If we go into men, you can see the different collections once again. You can sort by them up here. But other than that, they focus on the products. They keep their site simple, artistic, branded, and then it's just the products who do the rest of the magic, of course. They have a little badge here to showcase new in products. That's clever. And if I go up here, I can go into their most wanted. You always want to have that category as a fashion lifestyle brand as well. And this is their bestsellers. You know, looking at a brand's bestsellers is one of the most interesting things you can do, because you can really tell what put them on the map here. I've seen a lot of people wear this hoodie right here, this shirt here as well. This has really put them on the map. Always go ahead and analyze competitors or established fashion brands on their bestsellers, okay? And try and see if you can identify why has these products become bestsellers. Another thing we notice is that for every product, initially they have this very, very clean white background, no shadow, and then they have a lifestyle image of it. They have down here what size the model is wearing and how tall the model is, which once again is just another version of a size guide. This is definitely also something you want to add on your product page. And this text right here, this is just fun, right? Everyone knows what it feels like to have a great victory after a great work effort or overcoming, whether it's like your brother Alcaraz in front of 10,000 people, or like me in 2007 in Wii Sports humiliating my little cousin at my grandpa's house. This is personality, and this is their humor and what they are great at. I would honestly buy this shirt just due to this text. I think it's extremely fun written, and these are the ways you can give emotions to people browsing through the site. Have personality in your brand, and people will love you for if you have a consistency across all of your brand. If you want to work with me and learn how to build and scale an e-com store step by step, I do have a mentorship program where we help beginners and more established brand owners. Naturally, I can't work with everyone, so we only accept people who are ready to commit and actually do the work. This is hard work, okay guys? It's a business, so if you're serious about actually creating a business in e-com, there's a link in the description to book a free call.